Okay. Because something happened today that is counter to what my plans have been up until this point, it is important to document why this is happening. Or not so much why this is happening, but why the future of what I'm going to be doing is so important. Even for yourselves. Because to me, well, let me go through a little bit of what my current conditions are, and then I'll tell you the thing that happened. Well, let me tell you the thing that happened. Let's not keep you waiting on that. So essentially, I started my growth, not transformation. I started my growth because I was looking for a way to make life more controllable for myself so I can do more things with my freedoms. And in order to do that, I've come up with a kind of set plan strategy. It's a little loose, more of an outline, but I do have direction on how I am choosing to grow. My first thing to focus on was my secure floor, which is the thing that allows us to be free in the first place, which is how wrestled are we by the money that we have. And my thing here is going to be improving myself. And it starts with making sure that my money is going to the right places so I'm not blindsided by things. Well, lo and behold, just as I start, that's exactly what happens. So, as I'm imagining making more recordings or documenting more things that I'm doing in my day to day, I run into a couple problems. My car ended up taking some damage, and that damage destroyed one of my rear tail lights. And that wouldn't have been a problem had it just been a tail light cover. I'm not concerned about looking like overly great or trying to come off as a certain kind of person when I'm out driving around. But the problem was a legal one because the tail light itself had been damaged. So not just the outside cover to it that'll show it if it's red or yellow or anything like that. The actual bulbs inside had also been damaged. So I needed to replace the bulbs. But in order for the bulbs to work properly, I'm gonna just tell you it's a BMW from 2007, and for the bulbs to work in this particular one that I have, it also needs to have the cover on it to represent the colors that are being shown. So it's not just like an unprotected light bulb out there getting damaged by the winds and being exposed with the circuitry and things like that. So I had to go and order a new tail light, the entire thing, uh, the tail casing, and that run me from the place that I went to because I didn't take it to the regular repair shop, the branded BMW repair shop, not knowing how much they'll charge me, but I did go ahead and get their prices for the labor, and the labor was more than I was willing to pay when the pricing for the part was a little different than what I actually paid for it. So I paid somewhere around $200 for the tail light itself. I had to order it, had to wait some time for it to come in. I had the option to pick it up a little earlier, to like have it order in a little earlier. Chose not to do that just because it costs around an extra $12, and it's not hurting me that the tail light is completely out. It's just a legal issue. So we had to get that fixed. I go ahead, get that order, get it fixed up, and immediately after, because I put the tail light in myself, that saves on the labor costs. So then I already have the access, the ability to do it myself. So I go ahead and save money that way. So all I have to buy is the part, not the part plus labor. I get the part, put the part in, and go to sleep for the night. I wake up the next day to go to work, and wouldn't you know it, my car battery is dead. Not dead from anything that I did the previous day with fixing the tail light. The timing just matched up so perfectly. So my car's battery dying is something that I was already privy to. It had already been going through the stages of increased discharge due to a certain event that happened some months prior. And so I really was just living on borrowed time. But I didn't think it was too big of a deal because while it's a push to start vehicle, if you push the key fob into the specific place on the ignition, it will still charge up even if the battery is not fully discharged. So I've been using that little technique for a while. And what ends up happening here is just as I go to change the tail light, finally, get the parts in, get the time to actually go out there and get it swapped up, the battery dies. So I wake up, need to go to work. The battery's dead. But since I'd already known that this was going to be a thing, I already had my steps in place for when it actually did happen. I knew that I was going to have to buy a battery. So then I went and bought the battery. But, my preemption, I could have gone and purchased a battery sooner. But that would have locked up funds that I didn't necessarily have to spend on that at the time. But because I started this little savings journey, this wealth focus increasing type journey, I have become somebody that was able to go ahead and foot another, I forget how much the battery costs, like maybe another $100, $200, something like that, and ended up getting the battery for the vehicle, and that broke me out of another set of money that had I not began this journey trying to focus on creating me an emergency fund, I would have not had access to that. Like I would have been panicking, like where is that coming from, kind of thing. But it really is a good testament to how even as soon as I'm starting the flipping journey or getting this stuff situated, getting myself proper, that I'm able to cover an expense immediately. So now I'm able to see, yes, this is something that will definitely benefit me in the future. I'm planning against having a lot of these emergencies, of course, but I just thought that was interesting and definitely something that would have thrown a wrench into my plan. But since it's accounted for in the plan, I'm safe. Thanks for listening. You should probably check this out next.